Put a one if you can hear me okay. Who my first mistake was I wanted too much time. I had to have him morning, noon, and night. If I would have known then the things that I know now, I might not have lost the time I complain about. Don't waste your time fighting lies. Ho ho of despair. Hold on to your love. You got to hold on. Ooh, baby, hold on. Oh, you got to hold on. Yeah. The art of playing games now. It's not the heart you break. It's about good love when you make when his heart's on fire. Give him love every day. Oh, remember he needs space. Be patient until give his heart to you. Don't waste your time fighting lies. Oh, of despair. Hold on to your love. You got to hold on. You gotta hold on to your love. Yeah. Oh, baby, hold on. Baby, hold on. All right, I done tortured y'all enough, but I got it out my system. Greetings, everybody. Greetings. Come on in. Welcome to everybody. We got Bolo. You like that thumbnail, Bolo? That's what's up. That's what's up. I sure hope so. Vince, welcome if you're here. Miss SJ, thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming in. T. Smith, it's always a pleasure. Peace and blessings to everybody. Salute to you, Philly 2K24. Respect to you. Respect to everyone here. And who else we got? Miss Ann. Let's see. You're under the weather. Oh, well, thank you for popping in and coming out the bushes, even though you don't feel well. This is definitely a, a season where people are not feeling too good. So please rest up. Just rest up. That is the most important thing, besides, I'm sure you know, I just wanted to reinforce staying hydrated, getting, some fasting in if you can, and just staying out the way so you can get better. And I am blessing you and claiming a full recovery and expedient recovery. So thank you for coming in, Miss Ann. Mr. Bolo, he says he'll catch the replay. All right, all right, all right. So I got to listening to, I usually kind of get right to the point. So thank you, Ann. Okay, I'm glad you heard me. Peace and blessings to you, pretty lady. Um, this video that he did, now all the links are in the description. Of course, all the references, Bolo's channel. I know pretty much mostly people that come through my stream are sub to Bolo, but if by chance you're new and to the sector or to the channel, please go sub up to Bolo VNR. He gives nothing but quality and interpersonal and authentic um, streams. So he's interactive. He has great teaching points through his content. He's very articulate and relatable. And so he's one of my favorite people. And yes, so definitely go sub up to him if you haven't already. He also has a sports channel that you can sub up to, and that's also in the description. So the title of this video is he reacts to Jamaican celebrity dad, twin of twins, two Loxes talk with sons. So I missed, when I came in the middle of his live, I missed the first portion of this gentleman speaking, and I'm glad I went back. This is so informative, and it's an amazing representation, in my opinion, of what relationships between fathers and children, and in this case, sons, should look like. So let me just stop real quick and greetings to you. Um, Listen, I can pick apart. Like, is it what does Pastor Speaks call you, Jaga? Whatever you're cool with. I don't want to misaddress you, but thank you. Peace and blessings to you. Thanks for coming into the chat. And we got Miss Yo Thoughts. Yes, yes, making something move. All right. Well, then thank you for at least lending me your ear while you're doing so. I appreciate your presence as always. I wanted to connect with you. I was trying to message you without being so indiscreet in Dee's live that if you I don't know how busy you are, but in how public if you have IG, I would like to connect with you through another platform, because I'm not getting, even though I'm unsubscribing and resubscribing, I'm having to go look for your content, and I don't want to miss any of your lives. So if you can, you and I can connect and we can exchange IG addresses or messages, then when you go live, you can just shoot it to me through IG, and that way I won't miss it. Jaga. Okay, thank you. Yes, yes. All right. So, okay, that's it on that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we're gonna jump right into it. This gentleman, I love how you can tell that he spends time with his children. He doesn't just provide resources or provide these basic essentials, or because a lot of parents unfortunately feel like they don't have to invest in their children, but if they just give them basic care, that is sufficient in raising a child, and that could not be further from the truth. And one of the first points that he is going to touch on that resonated extremely loud with me was when he spoke on the principles. And the first one was um, not overcompensating to our children to make up for what we feel we didn't get as children, right? Yes. Okay, so pause for a second. Whoopi Rock, I don't know how to if Bolo, are you in, if you're in the bushes and you can just assist me on this. I know you showed me one time, but I forgot. And I would like to be able to issue some mod sticks if possible. So I think I need to go on my, oh God, I hope this doesn't take a, I won't allow it to take a long time, but let's see. First, let me pull my live up. I know he said something about me having to go on YouTube and actually click on the live. And then, so do I just tap on your name, Whoopi? No, that ain't it. Oh, I got to go to my iPhone. That's why. Okay. All right, all right, all right. I'm moving fast, you guys. My opinion of fast anyway. Okay. I'm coming. I'm coming. This was, what is, oh, this mode is driving me nuts. Okay. Okay, I'm on my phone, but I don't have the app. I don't, so I have to go through my browser. Does that matter? Because I don't see comments, Bolo. Trying it. Okay. Hey, SJ. No worries. Okay. Whoopi, you know what? I don't want to take a lot of time from the stream because sometimes I get technology challenged, and for some reason I cannot access the comments from my phone. Are you sure I can't do it from my iPad, Bolo? Because I think last time I did it from my iPad. So if you just give me the instructions real quickly, I don't think it was a long process. So I have the comments pulled up on the live stream on my iPad. Okay, I'm logged in. Yes. Go into settings. Do I go into settings? Community moderation. Is that it? I don't think so. Click on the right part with the three dots. Okay. See, I don't see no three dots. Is it under settings or does it have to have three dots? Oh, on the live? Yeah, I don't have the patience for this. No, stay in the comments. Okay, I'll give it another try, but I'm telling you right now, I don't have the patience. Okay, go ahead. I don't see three dots on my iPad. I see cut settings and then the X to close it. May not be able to. I had to do it on here last time because I don't see. Ooh, child. Okay, wait a minute. What was that? Click on the three dots besides her name. Okay, yeah, it's not showing up on my iPad. I'm not getting the option of three dots. Okay, I'll try it later. Whoopi, I don't think I appreciate you, honey, but as soon as I'm able to mod you up, I will. I just I don't want to get too aside from the point. And I usually don't have enough people coming in to give me trolls at this point, thank the goodness. So click on her picture. Okay. Yeah, it's not giving. No, that's just giving me moderation abilities. It doesn't say anything about giving her a moderation ability. Yeah, it's like I'm a mod. Those are the timer the indications it's giving me. Okay. All right. Thank you for your patience, everybody. I appreciate you. Okay, so as I was saying, this father here is, you can tell he's invested in his children. He is teaching his children. He is pouring what one thing that I think a lot of us lose track of is when we are like, if we are better off as adults financially and lifestyle wise, what we consider to be better off as opposed to being our, when we were children and the way we were raised, is that's the first thing a lot of us do, especially in this country. From what I've been able to see, it's the norm, right? Where we can, not everybody, but there are people that overcompensate with things, with stuff, with privileges, with whatever we felt that we were lacking when we were children. That's what, like, I am guilty of that. I am like my oldest son, I totally did that with. Now, my youngest one, I had them several years apart. So I had some time to unlearn and relearn some stuff when I realized some stuff wasn't working, right? So when it came to my youngest son, there are definitely different outcomes because there are different teaching methods that I have implemented with him. And even though I don't consider myself wealthy, I am definitely comfortable and I am in a better position lifestyle wise and not such in survival mode as I was when I was being raised. So what he talks about is balancing the two. So I think it's masterful that he was able to take his childhood foundation, the components that were stamped in him, and that he now is transferring those values and those foundational applications to his children. That is priceless, and in my opinion, that is how you keep legacy going. That is how you keep it fluid, and you keep transferring it to your generations after you. But overcompensating is not going to do it, because we're not teaching them how to fish, we're giving them the fish. And it's not just about wealth monetarily, it's about wealth spiritually, it's about wealth psychologically, health wise. I hate to say it, but it's a challenge in a lot of homes to raise healthy children. There has to be balance. He talks about balance. So I know that Bolo was kind enough to translate, because Lord knows I would have been probably understanding about 5 words that that dear man said out of all of the things that he spoke on if it wasn't for Bolo. So thank you, first of all, for being such a wonderful translator, Bolo. And so we can just, so it's going to be kind of a little trickle effect. The dad's going to say it, Bolo's going to translate it, and give his perspective and comments, and then I'm going to do it as well. But we're not going to go definitely through the whole thing. We're just going to catch some key points that I thought could were worth reiterating and repeating, even after they've been said several times, because you can't hear things enough until it takes hold. And some of us, at least one of us, could use this information. I venture to say that all of us will be able to learn something from this, but definitely just, I want to rock with it. So let me just start. Um, Again, the links is in the description to this particular stream. Now, do me a favor. I'm hoping I was able to. Last time I tried to do it from my computer, the volume was very low. So if once I started, if the volume is okay, put a 1, and if it's low or you cannot hear it, put a 2 for me, please. So a 1 if the levels are good, and 2 is if you're struggling to hear it or you can't hear it at all. Murders their husbands and well, yeah, if you check, if you Google ancestry, you can see that a large majority of us came from the west coast of Africa. That's where the slave trade was anyway. And Ghana is definitely highly linked to Jamaica. A lot of us came from Ghana. That is well documented. I'm not going to give keys. That's absolutely zero. No wrong with that concept. But did y'all hear anything? Can you put a 1 and if 2 if you didn't hear anything? Because if not, I'll play it from my other device. So, okay, Whoopi, thank you. You heard it. Awesome. Perfect. Levels are good. Then I can go ahead and rock out with it. Okay. Saying that nothing is wrong with giving you the best. Don't get it wrong. Understand? And I'm also not aware that instill principles and be serious about the direction a kid's life. As long as these kids are being fed, and then they're not going to get this. So he's saying that a lot of parents. Uh-oh. I didn't mean to do that. Crap. But he's saying that nothing is wrong with giving you the best. Don't get it wrong. Understand? And I'm also not aware that instill principles and be serious about the direction of a kid's life. As long as these kids are being fed, then you want the best computer, the best bag, you know what I'm saying, the best phone. It's not about all of that. Bingo. That I can't really, it's hard for me to react to Bolo's videos because we speak similarly. when it comes to context and the points, and we echo each other. So I don't want to sound monotonous, but I can't really expound on that. It is that father is saying we have to find a balance. We cannot overcompensate with our children. We cannot give them things and act like that is the only form of love. And if that's all we give them, when it's all said and done, it's going to be detrimental to our children. And they're going to have to typically learn hard lessons. Okay, so Bolo, the sound went out on the mic, on my voice, or on the video? So that is definitely, to me, that is so important and so worth um mentioning, and especially it's messing with me. Oh, okay. Lord. All right, on the video. Okay, thank you. On my voice too. All right. So I kind of don't know what to do, y'all. Maybe I can just talk through it and then reiterate myself um, until it levels out, unless Bolo has any recommendations or anyone else that is accustomed and has had that issue and knows how to get, to kind of refresh it if possible. Hi, Andre. Thank you for coming. Okay. All right, Bolo. I'm going to keep going. All right. So, um definitely when it comes to our children, we have to provide more, and more in the perspective that we have to pass on our knowledge, the information that has worked for us, tools, um abilities, things that we've gone and gotten special training and spent a lot of time in to perfect our crafts. That takes time, but that should be an understanding when you have children. If not, you're going to learn that, because you get one time to raise a child, and that anybody that's a parent knows how fast that goes. My son had a birthday, and he is like he's almost a grown man, and on my iCloud every day I'm getting pictures of him, because I've been taking pictures of him since he was born, and off of an iPhone. And so all of it's in my iPhone, and I'm getting his kindergarten pictures, I'm getting his baby pictures, I'm getting pictures of him when he slept, when he was so I know he's still sweet spirited, but you're not supposed to be just all sweet spirited when you're growing up into a man. But when he was young, that was absolutely one of the most endearing traits that just warmed my heart. And so I can't believe, like it, and it particularly hits me hard on his day of birth, that how fast that time and how fleeting it is, how quickly it passes. So we get one shot at this, y'all. We get one shot. Now, can relationships with children be repaired? In most cases, yes, absolutely. But it takes a collective effort. Everybody has to want that, first of all, and second of all, you have to be willing to acknowledge where you messed up, right? 28. Okay, Miss Yo, I got one that just turned 29. So we're very close with that. That's amazing. Honey, let me tell you, them I think he's an Aquarius. I'm not really big into the signs, but I do believe that there's some method and some truth to the personalities based off of when you were born. And the more I educate myself on numerology, the more I see there is a connection. So, but too early for me to speak on it. But yes, definitely, definitely. So happy birthday to early birthday to your son, Miss Yo Thoughts. So okay, that I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of pick up where I left off, but I did want to expound on that part because that actually resonated with me really loudly. Partly because part of my personal experience. And no matter how many children you have, I'm telling you, it goes by super fast. And the one thing that I've been grateful for is that even though I didn't get everything right the first time around, and I'm not getting it 100% right the second time around, um, that's why forgiveness is so powerful. And there has been forgiveness on all sides that has truly freed us to where we can move forward and make up for possibly having lost time, even though I really don't believe in that. But, just for sake of context, I wanted to say it.
It's not about all of that. It's more than that.
Okay, that was eye opening for me. Because in a lot of instances where I've seen and I've been a child, that everybody don't get a good outcome based off of choices and decisions, their environment, their family unit, the effectiveness or lack thereof. But from what his personal experience, from where he has been raised, it was either you become successful or you die. Do you, okay, so is it just me, or is that like super extreme of a variance? So you don't have, you got some serious choices to make because it is instilled in them that those are the only two choices. Okay, so all right, thank you, Miss Yo. I'm gonna go ahead and play it on my iPad then. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. 29. So this will be easier. Just a moment.
You can see other end of the month, get it done. You
How
understand?
come I can't see the time? Boy, I tell you, some days this technology thing be cool, and then some days I just be wanting to throw all this stuff out the window. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
Or you were going to turn to the wrong.
Okay. All right. One more time, you guys. Just put a one in the chat if you can hear it, okay, and a two if I need to make some adjustments.
Road, and it would lead to death because where he came from was a very rough place.
Yes, we know whole by people, whole heap of people, we're not the same position where me there, and me just choose differently. No matter how hard things get by me, I decided that I wanted success.
So he's saying that he knows a lot of people that came from the same place, the same position, same situation that he did, and they chose a different road. But he just chose success. He said no matter how things got rough, he decided that he was going to do the right things. He was going to apply himself to make it to where he wanted to go.
Now, this is key too, because when he had to make a decision where he was either going to succeed in life or he would end up ultimately in death, he realized how dire and how important that was for him to pass that along. Because now it's in his subconscious that no matter how times might have changed since he was a child, that concept still lives within him. And so that worked definitely as a blessing when it was all said and done. Thank you, Bolo. Okay, perfect. Damn D is in the house. Look, y'all, I done made it. I got D in the house. Oh my goodness. Hi D, peace and blessings. Thank you for coming through. I see you got a live go scheduled here soon. So I'm not gonna be too long-winded because you know I be wanting to be in your lives too. Nah, I want to participate. But thank you for coming through. Vince, salute. Grower Tech G, salute. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. Charge it to my head and not my heart if I miss anybody, right? Oditon speaks, Miss O speaks is what I like to call you. Yes, yes. And Whoopi, thank you. Yes, hit the like button. All right, damn D, catch me on the replay and speed it up at some point. I know you're a busy man, but at least listen to one of my lives, just one of them. And you can accelerate the speed. I would appreciate it. Okay. Thank you for the support. Thank you for stopping through, and I'll see you soon. Okay, so he's talking about just passing that along, those beliefs along, and those life foundational um lessons to his children. What's the point of learning all of this if we don't pass this shit along, y'all? But that takes time. It takes prioritizing. It takes investment. It takes, to me, I hear people always talking about real estate and they talking about, acquiring all of this generational wealth. And it's usually on a financial level. But what does all of that mean? And does it mean anything if that's all we give them? Because when we leave this earth, as I saw Mel W's comment, we can't take none of this stuff with us. And also, when we leave and when we pass on, then that we can't pass that information. That we've missed that window. There is no coming back, right? So when I say we got one shot, that is so on point. And I don't mean to sound negative, but it is what it is. These days are short and these kids are growing up super fast. Okay.
No matter what you strain, he said, no matter what you said to me, no matter what you tell me some million, no matter what you tell me some broke, all I focus on was me. Goal. Now,
so he's saying that no matter what happened, he always focused on his goal. Always focus on what he wanted to achieve, no matter what happened.
When you start to get success in any kind of way, how do you raise your children? Spoil? Balance.
So he just asked his son, when you have success, how do you raise your children? Do you just spoil them? And his son Jordan said, balance.
Why did he say that? Because it was poured and instilled into him. And I can bet your bottom dollar that it wasn't just stated in mere conversation on one occasion. It was reiterated. And I bet you any amount of money, first and foremost, it was exemplified by behavior. And it was an example that was being set. And I want to put some emphasis on that, relating that to me as well, because I have always known that. Because why? I looked at the behavior of my parents. And if it did not match what they were trying to teach me, I had a problem with that. Right? Miss Alexandra. Hey, beautiful. Thank you for coming in. I'm glad I don't know if you got the notification, but however you came here, thank you for being here. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Philly 2K. Yes. Salute to you. Kevin Ellis, my Kevin Ellis. Salute to you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And so, when it comes to my personal experience, I have sons. And I'm the first and most influential and the most impressionable example that they will see, because they're going to catch it from babyhood, right? Or as soon as they're able to retain any type of images or information and process it, they're going to watch everything that I do. And I have taken pride and integrity in carrying myself as the type of woman that they ultimately would gravitate to choose, and value, and know how to treat, right? And so if I'm around here and I got men coming in and out of my house, I'm just using this as a generalized example. I'm not being specific to anybody. Or if I'm going out to the club all the time, or I'm not spending time with my children and I don't invest in my children. Investing in them means regulating and establishing a system of education of what type of information they get, right? So I am, and the mothers are the primary example. Now, I am going to make a reference here. That video that Kwame had on his live yesterday, it made me angry. It made me absolutely angry. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, this person came at me, even though I don't watch them, I don't even know what was said. I don't care, because I don't value anything that they have to give. So my time is important and I choose to allocate it to other sources, right? But in order for you to try to correct somebody, your shit should be correct. Now you got it, you in a bedroom setting with your children, doing things that should be behind closed doors and not exposed to your children. So that made me super angry, because now we're normalizing the behavior at an early age. And depending on how the psychological makeup of those children are, it is not uncommon for you to gravitate toward the type of woman that exhibits certain behaviors and characteristics that your mother has. Okay? So this is where we are, but that is not what I decided to do. I understood, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, but I am glad that there were some things that I absolutely knew when I had children that became instrumental in raising and contributing and co-parenting with raising children in order to become independent thinkers and men that knows how to navigate enough through this life to where their life is not become difficult by their own volition and their own decisions. Okay, nobody's perfect. Everybody has their road to toe, but the word does tell you that if once you put that word into a child, when they're a child, they will never depart from it. They may step away, but that's the foundation, right? Absolutely the foundation. So I want to take a second here. The prophets in the Bible have already said in the last days that there will be wars and rumors of wars, different types of weather in diverse places, and time will speed up. T. Smith, you right on the money, and that's so timely. And there's nothing that's not true about that statement. And that's one of the reasons I reference time speeding up. I do recognize the last days. And I, all you have to do is open your eyes and be conscious for a couple of hours, and you will constantly get reminders of how in the last days we absolutely are. So yes, thank you for your thank you for that, because that's, I don't care what anybody got to say, that book is the foundation, right? So Mel says, enemies come when elevation happens. God got you. Amen. Amen. And I don't know if you've noticed, but that stuff don't bother me. It don't bother me at all, because I know the source. Philly says, yo, of course, I've always admired your tone and message. Let me tell you, I'm just going to sidestep here for a hot second, and I won't lose my train of thought, but I was listening to I was listening to your live where you were talking about reading Kwame, right? And that was such a refreshing, informative, your sense of humor, your tone, your authenticity. I'm not going to make that compliment long and drawn out. Actually, it's just an acknowledgement. It's not even that's just what I see. But I just want to say you keep doing it. Keep doing it, because there is an audience and an ear or several ears that are definitely resonating. Your words are resonating with. So, sis, I just want to know, you may not need the encouragement, but I'm here to do it anyway. And just to remind you that you're on the right track, right? So, okay. When it comes to, I was talking about being the example, and that goes for fathers too. So your sons are watching every move you make. That's how they learn 80% of the things that are being taught or is through demonstration. So we don't just have to be intentional necessarily about um, guiding our children or teaching our children or learning them, but they're watching what we do. So if we just live a certain way and we are repetitive in certain behaviors, that's all they're going to know. So definitely that will be what they pick up. That is why it is such a huge responsibility and a huge obligation for parents, in my opinion, that we have to set the example where our words match our actions. And if we got some correction, self correction to do, then whatever it is that you need to do that, do that. And I mean, do that expeditiously, because if you don't catch, and I've read this several times, where if you don't catch a child, or if you don't mold that child from birth to the age of 6 and lay that solid foundation that the Bible talks about, then you're going to, however it ends up is how it ends up. Because after that, then starts to come the independent thinking phases. And of course, then they get to, well, I know it all phase, right? So all of these different things are super important, and timing and application is everything. And so when Bolo said that he felt like this was probably one of the most um, videos that has made the most impact on him, and he felt good about delivering this content, it was this video. And when I went to go do the playback, I totally echo that, because you're looking at a raw interaction between a father and his sons. And I'm looking in this man's eyes, and as he speaks to the camera and to his sons, his expressions don't really change, which is letting me know that he is serious. And and Bolo mentioned, I think he interpreted a statement when he said he was a very private man. And so I will tell you, and I'm sure I don't have to, but I will say it anyway, that it takes a lot of energy and a lot of dealing with anxiety, dealing with making certain decisions on allowing yourself to be transparent to people you don't know. But because of what he's seeing on a wide scale, with the disconnect with the parents and the children, he has taken himself out of being first in considering his feelings, and he's looking at the urgency and the need to definitely convey this super needed message to whoever ears it falls upon, right? So okay, so I don't want to get too behind on the comments, but I love interacting with y'all, but right now I guess I'm in a flow. So pardon me if I have to go back and read them, right? But y'all feel to interact with each other, and I'll look every now and then for technical difficulties, and then I will go back, and then I'll catch up on the comments. But I feel Bolo's passion on this and the sense of urgency in sharing this man's message. And so again, the description is in the box, or the link is in the description. Please share it with somebody that has children. Share it with parents that have young children, that have teenage children, that have grown children that still seek their parents' guidance. Because even though this world or the culture that we live in says classifies 18 as being grown. I wasn't ready to leave. I had to go to college in order to get ready for the real world. Because at 18, I was nowhere near ready. Okay. So just because that's what the law says and the law of the land says does not make that applicable to every family and situation. Okay. So let me just continue this a little bit more, and then we're going to go to a couple of other little clips of videos because I want to shift the conversation from the or transition the conversation from this into other types of relationships. I won't take long, but I do want to cover that while I'm on this live stream. So we'll do a couple more moments of this, wrap it up, and then please go over and watch the full live on Bolo's channel. Please do. It'll be worth your time, I promise.
You have to balance them.
And he's saying yes, you definitely have to balance them.
Well, poverty make me have the discipline of me.
So he said that you have to balance your kids when you're wealthy, because for him, what made him have discipline was poverty. Poverty gave him discipline, not having very much. You know what I'm saying? So when you give a child all of that, what is going to stop them from not being from being indisciplined? What is going to stop them from doing that?
Let me tell you something. That is, I wish somebody would have conveyed that to me where I understood it when I had my first son, because let me tell you, that is so true. Growing up, I am who I am today because I was not handed everything. I was not given everything. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Whatever I needed and I wanted, I had to go get it. I had to find a way. I had to go through life and figure out what worked for me. And the only way I was able to find out what worked for me is to find out what didn't work for me, so I could seek what worked for me. Okay. So when it comes down to balancing, now you got this man that was raised in poverty. And that's why I think that there's a correlation between him and Kwame and the Brown brothers, because they have a similar background, even though culturally in different locations, but that background has laid the foundation and put them in a situation where they did not forget. And not only that, but where they appreciated and they learned how to manage, because when you're raised in poverty, you have to learn how to deal with wealth. There's so many people that crash out because they have no clue as to what do. So they become more of what they already were, right? Good or bad. So when it comes down to that, this video is absolutely a must see. I think, and I will venture to say that I know everybody will learn something new. Even if it's just an authentic relationship and the individual style that this man has in order to raise his children. And you can look at a minimal amount of interaction between a parent and children, and you can tell a lot about their relationship with just a few moments of listening to them speak, look at each other through behavior, all of that. So okay, so we'll go ahead and wrap that little section of it up. I'm gonna come back, and I know O speaks. He says kids will hold you responsible for a lack of integrity. Once they stop, you have failed to meet their expectations, and they have moved on expecting you to be inconsistent. That's a mic drop. Oh, that's a straight up mic drop. That's why the behavior has to match the instruction, your behavior. Because I think he said it in here in this interview or this stream, where he said, if you don't have respect, if your children or your family members don't respect you, they're not going to listen to you. There is, okay, I'm going to go through, let me I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, so they live for the structure we provide them. They need it. You said you would. It's not optional. They require you to be a man, woman of your word. That's all you got. That's when it comes to kids, that's the only thing they're going to hold you to, and that's the only thing they care about is can they count on you. And if your word is inconsistent, then that gives them their answer. T. Smith said, education and understanding the Bible properly can change some behavior. Some adults don't want to change for know how to do better is can affect children if they have children, good or bad. Absolutely. I know what you're trying to say. Got you. So that you said the key word though, the word, the Bible, properly, right? And what does that take though, T. Smith? That takes application, that takes for the parents to do their due diligence, research, and apply what they know, and time and energy to invest it into their children and pour it into their children. Now, if I told my son to go pick up a Bible and read a scripture, then I'm responsible for that in my opinion, because he has not been taught how to interpret that. That's why it's my responsibility to make sure anything that I present to him, he can come to me and ask questions, me or his dad, right? So definitely, I'm with you on that statement. There is actually one more excerpt that I want to backtrack a little bit on this video that I thought was absolutely worth listening to. And this excerpt where he asked them such a super important question, and I have asked at certain times of my son's life, me and his dad has also asked them that question, right? And I'm gonna let him say it. Hold on. Yeah.
Of your woman, and she takes care of you. Back to the word reciprocity.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
A cat cannot raise a puppy to become a dog. Facts. Talk your ish, Marcus. A real man is what? A real man. Oh, she said a real man is a turn on. Hey, Maria out here. Sheesh. Sheesh.
Vision, what you look for?
Me look for like a responsible girl, independent.
Same.
Yeah, I like when I'm low.
I like when I'm low.
So, I think that's Jordan. Jordan says he likes a responsible girl that's independent, and he doesn't like when they're loud. He doesn't like a loud girl. All right?
And I bet you that came because his mother's not loud. His mother's independent. His mother's responsible. The primary and key components that these young men tend to look for growing into manhood, oftentimes, I'm not saying all the time, because there are definitely times that no matter what examples we show them, they got to find out the hard way, or they have to find out their way, right? So that I definitely wanted to make note of, because that is so very true. And the fact that, again, in order for those young men to even know at that age qualities that they're looking for in a woman, they have to be poured into, and they have to be invested, and they have to be reminded, and examples have to be set, behaviors have to be exhibited. They have to see it, eat it, smell it, process it, and live it in order for it to take hold. And so that's super important. Okay, so there is two short clips that I want to show, and this one I thought was, I love the way, I wanted to catch that whole video, but I actually caught the clip, and it's perfect for this occasion. So I want to present the screen. Okay, it's not showing up on my. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just because I don't think you could hear it on my computer anyway. So now I gotta find it on my tablet. Give me a moment. I don't have TikTok, and this is a TikTok video. Give me a second. I'm gonna attempt to play it. So let me put a 1 up in the chat if you can hear this, or a 2 if it's too low, or if it's in and out.
There's just as much fear of submitting to someone as being a leader. Part of us being in survival mode is that you can't show weakness. That's every animal. Every animal is in survival mode. You have to hide your weaknesses. It's about getting through the next moment. And what we've been through as Black people in this country, we still very much in survival mode. It's harder for you to think long term. So now I gotta leave my survival, not my love, not my happiness, not my survival up to this individual, or I gotta lead another individual. And a lot of us haven't reached a place in our own relationship, like with self, to where we healed enough to realize, like, oh my God, like I'm capable of this. This person does trust me. It's not about survival anymore. We passed that. Like, we actually building something here. So I think we definitely, as Black people specifically, have to give ourselves grace. We have one of the most unhealthy relationships with leadership that you could point at.
That was a mouthful. I'm gonna play that one more time. It's short, but I want to give everybody an opportunity, because he said a lot in that clip. And I just want to make sure that we were able to grasp the whole concept of the video.
There's just as much fear of submitting to someone as being a leader. Part of us being in survival mode is that you can't show weakness. That's every animal. Every animal is in survival mode. You have to hide your weaknesses. It's about getting through the next moment. And what we've been through as Black people in this country, we still very much in survival mode. It's harder for you to think long term. So now I gotta leave my survival, not my love, not my happiness, not my survival, up to this individual, or I gotta lead another individual. And a lot of us haven't reached a place in our own relationship, like with self, to where we healed enough to realize, like, oh my God, like I'm capable of this. This person does
Okay, so I thought it was over. Hold on.
trust me. It's not about survival anymore. We passed that. Like, we actually building something here. So I think we definitely, as Black people specifically, have to give ourselves grace. We have one of the most unhealthy relationships with leadership that you could point at.
Whew, okay, so what I want to do is I want to drop the link. I love y'all engaging in the chat, but T Smith, O Speaks, feel free, no pressure, but feel free, or anyone else for that matter, to come up and let's dialogue about this, because I can give my perspective all day long, but I want a man's perspective. I want a man that has implemented some techniques and some behaviors that he's unlearned and relearned, or that he learned and that it benefited him in his marriage, in his relationships with women, including his mother, and be able, because a lot of men and a lot of males want to hear from other men. And I've been, giving my perspective as a woman and as a mother, but I welcome any of you to come up. So I'm going to drop the link, but I'm going to, while, people are deciding if they want to come up or not and engage, I'm going to give my 2 cents on this, on his take. So he said something that was super powerful. He made akin to survival mode with the animals. And he's absolutely right. You won't allow yourself to be vulnerable to anybody that you don't trust and that you're in survival mode around. And because, like he mentioned, the trauma in generationally from slavery, trust is a huge problem in the Black community. Nobody, well, when I say I'm generalizing, it's not nobody, but a lot of people don't trust anyone, you know, and that's a rough way to go through life, is to not trust somebody or anybody for that matter. So now you're having to rely on your own understanding, and you're having to rely on you, which you are limited, right? Exactly. It'll speak survival of the fittest, spares no animal, including us. And so, like he said, when do we get to the point where we feel like we're not in survival mode anymore? And that takes time. But most people don't even want relationships, or a lot of people don't want relationships, much less get into a relationship and actually work on it through the good and the bad, so you can build trust. Like a lot of other terms that can be used to describe that, can, to me, that's like a muscle, right? It has to be exercised. You have to depend on somebody else and get out of yourself and totally trust that somebody else can be there to provide reciprocity, things that you need, be dependable because they're responsible. You know, so there's, like I said, there's a lot to unpack there. Nobody wants to hit the link. I got nothing but bangers in this chat. You mean to tell me nobody wants to hit the link? Y'all know I like engagement. You ain't got to stay long. The quicker somebody hit the link, the quicker we can get out of here. I know. Look, it's okay. All right. So, when he said, the link is in the description to this video as well, but when he made that statement about trust and about self reflection, right? All the women just exhaled, like, damn, he just calling us out. He just, you know, saying what we saying, you know, he's telling the truth, right? And so it's resonating with them. But I like the way he speaks, because he's not finger pointing. He's saying us. He's saying we. He's saying collectively as well as individually. He's talking, he's including himself in that. I know Whoopi Rock, but I didn't have no other tools in the tool belt. So give me some grace, okay? No problem, O Speaks. It's all good. It's all in jest. It's okay. It goes the way it's supposed to go. So no problem. You know, and it makes it easily, the message more easily received, in my opinion, when you're not finger pointing and when you're not making it a you issue, but it's an us issue, right? So with that being said, we'll just go and move right along to the next video, since everybody seemed to want to hear my reaction. Okay, so this one here, this is given a different perspective, but it's a banger. So here we go. I'm gonna start it.
Trust that someone's never going to betray you. You just trust that you'll be able to handle it if they do, that you'll be able to walk away. That's a massive key to it. Stop worrying about whether you can trust someone else. Maybe you can't. We don't know that. Only time will tell if you can trust somebody else. That is a pointless waste of your energy to worry about. Worry only about yourself. You don't trust that someone's never going to betray you. You just trust that you'll be able to handle it if they do, that you'll be able to walk away. That's a massive key to it. Stop worrying about whether you can trust someone else. Maybe you can't. We don't know that. Only time will tell if you can trust somebody else. That is a pointless waste of your energy to worry about. Worry only about yourself. You don't trust.
Ooh, now I've never quite heard it articulated that way, but you can't put it any plainer than that, because what does he do? He brings it back to what you can change or what you can control, and that's you. So if I can't trust somebody externally outside of myself, then the only way to change that is to change how I receive the definition, the word, and the meaning of trust. And I have to shift my belief and my perspective into self and say, you know what? It's not about what's done to me, it's how I react and respond to it that determines the outcome. And so if I'm having trust issues, and it's easy for people to say, oh, child, I got trust issues. But I think sometimes people use that as an excuse to not change, or an excuse to justify their behavior that does not benefit them in the end. Because God didn't put us here to be in survival mode. He didn't create our bodies and our temples and our vessels to be in survival mode 24/7. And so we definitely, in order for us not to be in survival mode, we have to have a tribe. We have to have someone or some ones that we can actually trust and that we believe in, that they will do what they say they're going to do. Just like I think it was O Speaks or T. Smith said that the children, they watch the behavior. And if you don't stand by your word, they're not going to respect you. Right? So I just thought that was very powerful, because in my last few live streams, especially where I'm touching on different types of familial relationships, it's all about self improvement, self accountability, and self reflection. But that's the only thing we have control over. So that's where the manipulating and the trying to sway the narrative comes into play, is when you're trying to change somebody else. And then, of course, 10 out of 10 times, unless that person wants to change, they're not going to. And now you're frustrated. Now you figured out that that's not working. So now you're going to take it a step lower until there's no opportunity to repair any lack of trust. Right? So that's the point that I wanted to convey with that particular video, is he was talking about perspective, your perspective, my perspective, how I perceive what's going on outside of me. And if it disturbs my peace, then I can deal with that a few different ways. I can dialogue with the person respectfully so we can come to an understanding. And a lot of times when you do that, you realize that it wasn't what you thought and the way you perceived it at all. When you get clarity, when you have a conversation and you're transparent about wanting the outcome to be favorable for both of you, right? And so that's where it starts. That's where it starts, is with you, with self. So, okay. Salute. Thank you, Double Speaks, for coming through. Salute to you. Peace and blessings to you, Pastor. Hope you've had a great day today. I hope everybody has had a great day today. So, Will, thank you for coming through. Miss Yo Thoughts, she says, children definitely watch what you do, not what you say. Man, we've been preaching that. I'm telling you, we've been preaching that since the beginning of the stream. So if your behavior does not match your verbal communication, you're going to lose their respect quicker than anything and anybody. So it is definitely imperative that we set an example not just to our children, but to anybody that you say you love, anybody that you claim you respect, anybody that you consider being in your tribe or close to you. So thank you, Big Trick. Thank you. Yes, hit that like button, y'all coming in. I dropped the link. I see some new faces coming in. We're just having a conversation. I did a reaction to Bolo's video between the artist and I think it's True Locks and his two sons, emphasizing the importance of fathers being in the home, fathers being present, leadership skills being exhibited that only fathers can do with their children effectively or as effectively. Am I saying that mothers can't raise healthy children? No, but that's not how we weren't created in that way. And I'm telling you that even though we can withstand it, it's not the pressure, the responsibilities of doing it all. You shorten your lifespan doing that. And I believe that wholeheartedly. It takes a lot out of you. And that's why a lot of single parents don't put forth the effort and the energy, because it costs them too much, or it costs them something, right? So when I say I am so passionate about our children, because we all checking. One thing is for sure, and two things is for certain. We all checking up out of here. At some point, we all have an expiration date. And the question that every last one of us should be asking ourselves is, what in the hell am I leaving that when I'm gone, it will still live on? That's a serious question. And it's one that we have to ask in order to acquire any type of vision of how we want this thing, or we would like this thing to look. Not saying that would necessarily be the outcome, but it gives you goals and it gives you motivation to strive for those goals, as opposed to, and it gives you vision as opposed to just winging it, right? And so, um, with that being said, nobody wants to hit the link. Okay, EJ, yes. Thank you for coming in. Hey, Miss Sherry. Welcome. Peace and blessings to you. Miss Liza Jean, peace and blessings to you as well. Will, you already know. And I are you busy? Can you hit the link, or are you occupied? Miss Alexandra said we all have that in common. Welcome, ICU. Yes, I think that's a great question as well. So T. Smith says, child, know if you are in the spirit of the Most High. Most will, oh, of the most will listen because they see your behavior. Yeah, if they line up, they will absolutely see it. Not absolutely. Bolo to the rescue. Hey, Bolo.
Yeah, you something else talking about to the rescue. I really wanted how you doing, Mr. Keem? I really wanted one of the gentlemen that was, being very engaging in the chat with the comments. I really wanted one of them to come up here because you reviewed my video and people watched it. Whoever gonna watch the replay, you already know my perspective on it and how important um I believe, or I know it is for, men to be involved in their kids' life, especially the boys. Because when you look at society right now, the boys are losing. You know what I'm saying? They're locked up in prison, or they're in the grave, or they're just not doing well in terms of school. And if they do well, they're not making the right choices in terms of picking a mate, because though especially like in the Western world, you see what's going on with the court cases and baby mama drama and all that type of stuff. you know so
Facts.
that's why I thought it was
Facts.
that video that I did was the most powerful content I ever put out on YouTube. It's definitely necessary for people to watch that, show their kids, show their, what I'm saying? Everybody just needs to watch it, the whole family. And I'm happy that you did a reaction to it and shared your perspective.
Well, I thank you for sharing the content. like I said, when I came into the middle of the stream, I knew it was powerful, but I had missed, a portion of it. So I wanted to make sure that everything was quiet, and I was able to totally concentrate on the content, because when you said that that was the most powerful content you put out, I knew I had to really pay attention and listen to everything that was being said, and receive the gems that were being dropped. And we don't see that story enough, Bolo, where the father is the media really skews things to make us believe culturally and as a whole, and not just in this country but widespread, in my opinion, that black fathers aren't worth anything. And so if they're not worth anything, or if they don't have anything of value to pass along to their children, then what do you think the outcome is going to be? And so I'm glad that you are who you are. I'm glad that you have chosen to start your own channel, so you and I and others that are on board as well can really shed light on the positive side of the culture, while trying to improve, of course, and leaving room for improvement, but giving that somewhat of a balance. Because like, I think you said we're losing. Yeah, their young boys are losing, and they feel like, I think a lot of them feel as if nobody cares, because they're not pouring into them and they're not investing, right? So you said it, and I'm grateful, because this stream is, yes, this is everything.
And I want to charge the people that watch. I want to put a charge onto the supporters, right? And this is not a knock to the beef, you know what I'm saying, and those types of content. But sometimes we get excited about the beef stuff, and we promote it way more than we promote these types of information. And I want to charge y'all to really think about that, as in, oh, Skinny's over here and he's saying this, and you be texting 40 people in your DMs telling them to come over to check out the BS that's going on with Skinny and somebody or KB, right? I want y'all to be that excited when you see this type of content and go, yo, Mr. Kimi is dropping some real damn facts about family. Come on over here. I'm charging y'all to start promoting the good content, stuff that affects us in real life, not just the beef stuff. All right? That's on y'all. I'm charging y'all to do that, whether you do it or not. I'm just saying. Let the numbers go up for these type of content as well, not just the negative stuff. This what we talking about right here? This is about building for generations to come, for us to matter and be a factor in the world, in the globe, not just seen as the council of that came together as useless eaters and consumers. That's how they view black people in the World Summit, as useless eaters and consumers, because to them we're not adding any value to global growth, right? So I'm telling you, we be promoting all the bullshit, and I'm a part of it. And that's why I made it sure that I make it intentional. That is the word of 2024. Intentionally promoting Miss Akimi, Miss Your Thoughts, Doe Eyes, women like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the message that they're putting out, I understand the value that it brings to the entire family. And
Yes.
I'm going to be a part of the solution and not the problem. That's why I don't really want to talk about there's a time and a place for everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying balance it out, man. Promote these types of content with that same excitement that you do when we're talking about all the gossip and the BS and the bad behavior. So that's on y'all. Y'all need to do that.
Well said, Bolo. Well said. And I agree, and I also agree that I definitely participate as well. But I think, and that's why I'm thrilled that we've got so many popping out, because even though we have our own individual styles, we still dropping gems at some point, or we're still providing edification for those that are seeking it, or just giving some balance. And like you said, there's really nothing wrong. I mean, in my opinion, if it's balanced and if it's in moderation and you don't let it affect your real life and you don't take it off of YouTube, and you can handle what is going on in this sector with some type of elegance and just a healthy perspective, a balanced perspective, then that's one thing. But I really feel like everything else, that this sector could use some balance. And I heard TJ, I was in the bushes last night for a bit, but I heard him say that he was really glad that the people that are coming out and starting pages and giving some positive content and giving a balance to the sector. I think I also heard him say that if this had been done earlier, he does not think that the negativity and the penetration would have gotten to this degree.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think of it from through those lenses, but the more I reflected on it, I think he has a point. So, but we can start from today. Um, and if you don't feel compelled today, just keep seeking out some positive and balancing out some positivity with the bullshit, and it will catch on. What you feed will grow. Period.
Yeah, for people will DM me and tell me, "Oh, the egg lady, here's a screenshot." All right, cool. Um, screenshot me or send me a link with a brilliant, a black girl or black boy that's doing awesome in their community, so I can highlight it. So I can highlight their parents. What are their parents doing to have this type of product, coming out their homes? Balance it. Don't just send me that stuff on Instagram that that people are calling my name here and there. Don't just send me that. Send me the stuff like that too. Those types of things that you see black people doing great in their lives. We need to push out more of that imagery, because the imagery in mainstream media is we ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? All these rappers and everything, gangsters and all of that. That's the image. All these ratchet women. That's the image they putting out. That like that's what we all are about. That's it. Like they represent all of us. No. You know what I'm saying? That's why I did the video. Shout out to Miss KTC. She put me on to that young man that won the science competition, that made a soap that was good for skin cancer. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type. Those are the types of stories. That's Black Boy Magic right there. That young man is a young man that we could invest in. Whatever endeavors he's gonna do scientifically, man. Can I be a part of that? How do I donate? You know what I'm saying? Like we should be intentional about stuff like that, in
I,
my opinion.
I
You
agree.
know,
Hmm. Absolutely. Well, mic drop on that. Ain't nothing else I need to add. It's all been said. That's a great live, Bolo. Just a great live. And I didn't want to do too much, but I wanted to cover some key points so they can definitely, if they haven't seen it, because I know you're really regular in pumping out content, so they may have caught two other live streams and haven't been able to catch this one. But again, I encourage you to go over and definitely give it a listen.
actually, oh, did I do any more content after that? I believe what I've done, I've tried to go over to my backup channel. That's what I tried to do. So it's right up there at the top. You know what I'm saying? So they can still go over there and check it out. It's not far off. like there's so much content in front of it. You know, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, I think it's like one video that I did after that, if I'm not mistaken. Uh oh, two videos. Yeah, I did two videos. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, everything you're pumping out is quality. So they're not going to miss one and not get the other, but it's just like you said, this one definitely has made an impact upon you enough for you to
Mm-hmm.
bring awareness to the topic and bring shed different light. So just that's all I got to say is just check it out. It's just worth the mention. Miss SJ, she says, I think the thing you're missing is the mindset of the people. You can't pull positivity from people who can't even recognize it in their lives. I think there's a
Mm.
lot of truth to what you're saying. I just want to provide an additional perspective to your statement. Now, I remember one time I was watching um, one of Biz's lives. And actually, he said it in several lives, but I think I caught a live where I think it was the first time he really spoke on it, right? EJ, I see you. Give me just a moment. Once I'm so hard for me to multitask. So give me just a second, baby. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. And so he said something so instrumental. He said, people always say, why am I in this sector with this information? I would do better. People DM him all the time and say that he passer. I said salute to passer. Did I miss something, double speaks? Talk to me. So he said he wants to bring awareness, and even if it is reachable to only one or two people, that's the community he wants to reach out to. I echo his sentiment. Because even though in my opinion right now there's a cesspool, there's also a um a separation of the wheat and tear going on in this sector. So people are being made to be assigned or to assign themselves a distinction, right? And so, like, I don't go on anybody like the detractors. I don't go on their pages. I just don't. If I don't see it on Damn D's or Kwame's, then I don't see it. However, they may come, one or two of them, whether they are online displaying one type of disposition, they may be really struggling with some things behind the scenes that they can secretly apply to their lives. And you may never know it, but you've done your job and you've acquiesced to your responsibilities. And so saying that is that you're absolutely right. But there also is a reachable audience for this type of information. Like right now, I've consistently had a little over 20 people from the beginning. I've had technical difficulties. I've I've switched up, topics. It hasn't been as smooth as I would like it to be, but those people have remained. And I'm grateful for that because it's letting me know out of 22 people, maybe four of them and I'm just throwing out a number. I'm just saying at the very minimum, four of them are gaining some information that behind the scenes may actually help in them making decisions to at some point change the trajectory of their families. So I just wanted to say that. Salute to you, EJ. Thank you for coming up.
No, salute to you, Mr. Kimi. Salute to you. Salute to you. Oh wait, let me say hi and wipe my feet off. Salute, salute Bolo. Salute to the chat. Salute to your channel.
Salute, bro.
And thank you for being a true black queen, Mr. Kimi. Thank you so much.
Well,
I've been looking for this since I jumped on YouTube. It ain't just Miss Your Thoughts, it's YouTube. Thank you so much. Someone that got positive messages, positive outlook on life, um, real genuine content. It ain't about that who rah. To piggyback on what Bolo was saying before, I was speeding here to get home. I had to get on here and talk about this. And I really appreciate you, like a real genuine black queen, for real. Thank you. And it's a pleasure for you to have me up here. I just had to jump on here and tell you how much I thank you for being who you are.
Well, thank you. Thank you for giving me, confirmation that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm grateful for that. And like Bolo, I will always make reference to what Bolo's mom has said, because it made such an impact, and it helps keep me really balanced and at an equilibrium, to not look at what a lot of the typical content creators look at, but to know that I'm reaching somebody and I'm helping me too. And you guys help me. I always say I've kind of lived in this bubble, and this has helped me get out of my comfort zone, and it has helped me find people, even though it's through the internet, that have like minds. And so I am truly grateful for that. So it's definitely reciprocal, EJ. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I think the whole YouTube should be thankful for you. It's like we can hit your channel and really get good information, not no doom and gloom, not no what I'm saying. It's genuine. It's what I look for in a woman that's a part of this YouTube type of things, and what they bring to the table. And your messages be really knowledgeable if people listen. And to jump on here and hear you speak and give real knowledge and your outlook on things is really treasuring to me. Like, I can't say all this in the chat, but I'm glad I'm up here to tell you.
That's what I be saying. Hit the link.
You know what I mean? So it's different. It's amazing to me. I applaud you for that, and thank you so much. And you keep going, you keep striving, keep being who you are, a true Black queen. Keep doing that for us, because we need that. We really need this.
Amen.
And I'm gonna go on mute.
All right. Amen. Thank you. Mic drop on that. Hey, Miss SJ, welcome.
Hey everybody. Um,
Hey, SJ.
hey y'all.
Hey,
Um,
you up here? Hey,
Hey, y'all. Hey,
hey, y'all.
y'all. I'm glad that you hit the link. I'm glad that you always have such powerful statements in the comments. So thank you for hitting my panel for the first time. I welcome you.
thank you. So I came up because I had a whole lot to say and I didn't feel like sometimes the message gets lost in texting. So that's why I came up. So I could be clear about what I was talking about. So I
Absolutely.
absolutely love that you are coming out, Bolo is coming out, like everybody else has said. We do need balance in this sector, and it is refreshing. And honestly, with all of the doom and gloom, like I'm starting to like hear these voices of these people on the other side, and sometimes it makes my stomach turn. Like it's getting to be really bad. So, excuse me, we do need you guys to balance it out. But what I meant in this message about mindset, Bolo was talking about like he gets all these inboxes about all this negative stuff. And you're right, Miss Akimi. You are here, even if you only reach one person. That's what God told me. It only takes one person. So I agree with that for sure. So I didn't want you to misunderstand what I was saying. But some of these people, their home life is dysfunctional, their work life is dysfunctional, and they come on here looking for dysfunction because that's where they find comfort. So what I was saying was, you guys can scream it all day, like, why don't you come watch this positivity? But for them, that might be scary to hear something different and something positive and something new, because change is scary for people. So that's kind of what I was meaning. You probably are reaching people, and even if they're in the bushes, you're planting the seed, and so just give them a little bit of time. If you don't see it just bloom all of a sudden, it'll happen. But that's what I was meaning by that. And I'm going on mute.
Look, 86K don't know. Look, that's his word. He need to go ahead and trademark that. I'm telling you, give us permission to use it, right? For real. So no, thank you. That's why I'm so glad you hit the link, because you're right. Translation can definitely get lost in text at times. And I don't think I misread it. I just wanted to kind of maybe because of the wording, I just wanted to give my context on it. And the first thing that popped in my head was what Biz said. And he has repeated, and he is extremely passionate about that. He said time and time over again, he said, yeah, I could go into the other sectors. He said, but I'm needed here. And whether people want to realize, and then was it yesterday? He just did a live, and I could hear the frustration in his voice. But one thing I can say that I love about his delivery and his authenticity is you can tell he's authentic, but he's authentically frustrated with the fact that he knows the value of the information that he's giving and how it's changed his life and how it could potentially change yours if you apply the lessons or the gems that he's giving, right? But he's frustrated because, just like you said, SJ, we are focusing on the bullshit more so than giving balance with the positivity and really real life situations. Because once I click off, like many of us on here, where we have fun in the chat, we have fun getting along with other people, interacting, listening to entertainment of their different styles of creation, content creation. It's like there has to be a point where you're looking at real life and you're saying, okay, what is working and what is not working? And if God is providing you an avenue of communication or a platform where you can actually get something that you can apply that make it applicable to your everyday experience, and it can improve your communication, it can improve the nature of your relationships, with your loved ones, including your children and your spouse, immediate family members. And you said something so powerful, and I appreciate that, SJ. You said give them some grace and some time. And I just want to, because I know I get positive reinforcement for people, but I don't want to come off as if it's frustrating for me. It is not. I am very clear on what I'm supposed to do. It's just my way of reaching out to people and saying, look, there is other information out here. There is other perspectives that may benefit you and anybody that you're connected to. And can we dialogue about things that are tangible and that are real in our everyday lives, as opposed to putting so much energy into things that at the end of the day don't matter. We'll probably never meet most 99.9% of the people that we interact with on an everyday basis. People from all over the world tune into YouTube. So I look for the gems. And like Yo Thought said the other day on the live, she said you can learn from a fool. And I'm not calling anybody a fool. I'm just saying you can learn from anybody and you can take value from anybody. That's why it's not good to judge people. It's not good to stereotype people based on their current circumstances. If people judge me based on my current circumstances when I was younger, my soul would have been crushed. It was a temporary situation I was going through, and God gave me grace through people. And that helped me persevere and actually gain strength to be able to not just change my circumstances in my life and keep me motivated and hopeful, but it also made sure that I poured it into somebody else because somebody poured into me. So I didn't want to ramble, but it's such a multifaceted conversation that I just wanted to get out what, was on the tip of my tongue.
That's really good. And I'm happy that even though Biz is getting frustrated, he is still hanging in here. And you know, that shows somebody, like you said, it could be one person, but it shows somebody that they're worth it. They're worth him sticking around here. They're worth you doing these lives. They're worth you guys putting in the time and the research to help somebody. Even though you might not know who it is exactly. I think that is the beauty of being a servant. And I say it's a servant because when you're a servant, you don't expect to really see the payoff. It's okay if you don't, but if you do, it's a blessing.
Amen.
So
Amen.
I just think that's really nice. And I just want to encourage you to continue to go. Bolo, you too. EJ, I know you about to get started too. So keep going. I'm not doing the channel, so don't ask me. But
Well, you
SJ's
always
a
welcome
fool,
on our
man.
channels. You always welcome. I love seeing your face in the chat. And if that's where you comfortable, then ma'am, you're gonna be supported there too. And oh, let me just for the record, I'm sorry and I apologize. I know, let me tell you, I Bolo can tell you that day I was super chatting Kwame. I was
oh,
talking to all of the
She
moderators
was
in the
lit.
chat.
She
When I
was
saw
I
lit.
your name,
saw
I
it.
said out of all the people.
No,
And that was my first 86K.
that's okay.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. That was
Yeah,
tough.
and I was like, "Oh no, we got to reverse this. I'm sorry, I don't know what you got to do, but you the
Yeah,
know
we
all be
was
all up there,
trying.
Kwame. You got all the control. Make it happen. Bring her back. Do the hoopty."
Mm-hmm.
I was not happy. I was not
I know.
Yo.
I could read everything that was going on. So I saw you and Bolo. I saw it all. It's okay. I
okay.
probably needed a break because y'all know I be cutting up. But
No,
um,
yeah, well, that's a personal decision, but I definitely never gets tired of seeing you. You become if you're not there, I'm mentally asking why. So
oh,
I
that's
just
nice.
wanted to verbally say that as a caveat to the conversation.
Hey, that's a fact. Especially when she and JMC going in on each other. My God, man, that's crazy.
Every day. They're my favorite
Every day.
couple.
That's it. That's it. So
But I appreciate SJ for her comments. Just reminding Miss Akimi about because I think I had that same conversation with her, and I needed to be reminded of it as well because yes, it does get frustrating sometimes. When you have genuine love for your people and you want to see them, win. You want to see everybody win, even the ones that are bad apples. You know what I'm saying? You genuinely want to see them grow and become better people and just be a good product of the community. And you try to put out the message out there, but it's not going as quickly as you would want it to. It gets frustrating sometimes, but yeah, those there's certain trees that take longer to grow, so it is what it is.
It's facts, Paulo. And another thing, I don't want to see them, you know, uh, disrespect the Kimi name, just because she, do her own thing. You know how they do it over, they put your name over there, say this
But guess
about
what?
you. And I don't want to see that. That'll make me sick. You
Yeah,
know what I
but
mean?
guess what, EJ? You got to remember, there's some things you control, and then there's some you don't. So don't even think about it, bro.
Right.
You
I
know what I'm
got you.
saying? Yeah.
and you know what? We know it's not whatever they say is not going to be true because these people don't know anything about me. So
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
the only thing that
Facts.
they can go off of is what I provide on YouTube, which is I'm very intentional about the information that I give out. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm transparent. None of us are perfect, and anybody that has anything to say about me is not perfect. But I have lived enough life to where I've gotten to the point where I seek value, and anybody that doesn't add value to my life, I don't give any attention to. And that works for me.
That's facts.
I wanna invite Mel W. Mel. If there's any content you see that me and Mr. Kimi do and you wish to, do a reaction and provide your own, add or spin to it, I welcome that, my brother, because I always love to hear your perspective. I know you're a busy man, you're a teacher, and you're doing a lot, but I just want to throw that out there.
Definitely. And you don't you know what, if, as long as you're within the community guidelines, you don't, feel free, feel absolutely free. You don't have to ask, you don't have to. I would just like to be tagged in it so I can view it, I can engage, or I can be present. And if I can't, that's fine too. I love to hear other people's perspectives, and their take on things. I'm not a know all be all. I speak with assertion, but that's just based off of my personal journey. It doesn't make it absolute, right? So we can respectfully disagree. I welcome pushback. That's how I learn. I don't want to have it right all the time. That's too much weight on my shoulders. It's too overwhelming, and it's unattainable, a goal. So just I want, just, and that's what I love about Bolo. He is definitely got this thing, the concept of this content creating thing down pat, and I'm learning a lot from him and others. Double Speaks as well. Double Speaks is doing so well. Double Speaks got his own style, and I know that it's okay to comment and to react, especially when they're trying to besmirch your name. I'm not saying I'm beyond that, right? I'm not saying that I'm above that. I don't know if I will or not, but I have not gotten to that point. Or if I have, I'm not aware of it, because I don't, like I said, I don't seek it, I don't follow it. Sometimes it's, they'll bring it to your front door. And if and when that happens, it's okay. I'll deal with it accordingly. But I want you to feel free to, because we're on this thing collectively, we're in this thing together. These are like minds that are coming together on this side of this sector. And so, the more the merrier. And if we can reverberate the message and add value to it while we're reverberating with an idea that somebody else has already exhibited and put on their page, then to me, that's a blessing. I'm not in competition with anybody but myself. So Mel, hit the link. Bolo, you got him to hit the link.
That's real.
And
That's
I'm going
Salute
real,
to
to
you,
man.
man. What's up, man?
Hey,
Nope, not much, man. Listen, I got so much respect for Miss Akemi. I had to pull off to the side. I had to figure out how to do the StreamYard from the phone. I was like, you know what? I got to hit this link. What's
You're
up, my people?
amazing. Thank you. I'm so glad you did. And I'm going back on Mert.
No,
man, what's happening?
I think all of you guys, man, have been giving some amazing content. I just love to listen and take everything in. Bolo, I'm not there with the lives yet, man, because like I said, I am so illiterate when it comes to these YouTube streets about stuff. But eventually I'll get there. And, I just love the content that you're sharing about, lessons for fathers. I just gave a lesson to my son, my 8-year-old son this morning, where I was explaining to him that I'm teaching him things that when he becomes a man, it'll make sense for him. And as dads, we have a responsibility to start at the earliest of age to instill certain values in our kids, because, the Bible says train up a child's right and their days will be long, right?
Facts.
Absolutely. And thank you for saying that and making that reference to you and your son, because it's so pertinent to the conversation that we're having today. And this live was intended to be focused on familial relationships. So I wanted to give, even though dads and sons deserve a whole live stream just to that in itself, um, the way that my brain works is I'm looking at the unit, the core unit. I'm looking at the family. I'm looking at everything as a whole. And so it takes everybody, like I take my hat off to fathers that, whether they're widowed or they gain custody of their children and they get the experience, unfortunately and fortunately, of raising children alone. It's applicable. This information can be applicable to anybody in any type of situation with any type of relationship. And for you to correlate that and use as an example with you and your son personally, that
Well,
is an example of it. It just exemplifies who we think you are.
Well, I appreciate that. And I want to say this, and I hope I'm not long winded, but give me about 30 seconds to share a brief story. So when I saw your when I saw your title, I immediately thought about some of the relationships I've had with like extended family members. Um, so long story short, when my mom passed in 2021. And when she passed, she had, siblings who had, I would say, from my observation, had mistreated her and spoke wrong at her. And so when she passed, these same siblings are then coming to me offering condolences. And I didn't want that energy from them. And I told them straight up, I'm like, you give people their flowers when they're alive. Don't tell me how good my mom was if she didn't know you meant that. So what I'm saying to you guys is this. What I took from your title is, before we can tell people, to let something go or put things in the past or that's your family, we have to understand people have to reconcile or face atonement for how they treat family members. So as long as you fail to realize the fault that you make in family members, you can't fix those relationships. But if you can identify your faults, you can fix any relationship. I think especially in our Black communities, we don't do a good job of saying, I made a mistake, I want to fix this. We either try to sweep it on the rug, let it be in the past, or we passively aggressively handle it in a way that makes matters far worse. If you know the story about the King children, like they had their own situation where they weren't even speaking with each other, dealing with each other. And so now one of them passes away, they're sitting up there crying and all this other stuff. And it's like, you let so much other stuff get in between instead of just saying you were wrong and mending those relationships. So that's all I want to speak on that.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that because it's letting me know that my thought process on the titles of my videos, I put a lot of thought into my titles. And it lets me know that it's doing its job, because I don't want it to be isolated to just one group of people. I don't want it to be isolated to just one idea. I want more than, because you can talk for 2 hours about one thing and you're going to lose people. So the way our brains move based off of social media makeup and our utilization of social media. I told my friend, we were laughing today on the phone, but I was dead serious. I said at 53, I finally developed ADHD. It's like I have a whole library of books. I used to be able to read a book with, like, if it was good enough, I wouldn't put it down. I would go through sleep deprivation just to get to the end because it captivated me for the entire, the entire book. Now I struggle. I struggle with that. So, I tinkered with audiobooks, but I don't want to get lazy. So I've been back into the reading aspect of it. But it's true. And so, not to get too off topic, but I'm glad that it resonated with you and it promoted thought outside of what your daily, routine is. And family is family. I don't like the terms when they talk about extended, or I mean, I guess it's applicable and we're used to it in some sense, but I personally really, family is family to me. And I have people that are not blood relatives but have been more of family to me than some of my blood family. So when I say family and I consider you family, that's a big thing. So definitely, thank you for that value. I just want to make a verbal observation, or actually an observation and verbalize it. When Mel said, give him a few moments, I looked at the panel and everybody went on mute. Everybody went on mute. One of the things I absolutely love about this area of Kwame Brown sector is the respect that is shown from one to another. I'm huge on respect. I can't control other people, but one thing that I can say is that we show each other respect and we give each other grace and the consideration of actually listening to hear and to understand and not make it a debate or not looking for a reason to push back, because all of us have the like mind that we are listening to hopefully apply certain things to our lives. And so to me, I sat here and watched it in real time and it made my heart leap, because it spoke leaps and bounds of the level of respect that we have in the chat and we have on the panel. And outside of Bolo, I can't see, but I think Bolo's the only mod. And the only reason I haven't given any other mod sticks is because I don't know how. Um,
Good,
and
I'm not
so
alone. I thought it was just me.
Soon as you find it, soon as you figure it out, give me one. Give me one.
Mr.
I'm
Kimmy,
Soon as you figure it
Mr.
out,
Kimmy,
give me one.
we here, sister, we here together. Listen,
Right,
we
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 here for
on this boat
you.
together.
Yes, and you know what? But that's what I'm saying is like maybe it will change, but I'm claiming it will not. But even if it does, my point is that I'm grateful, I'm appreciative, and I am that's how I know how God has his hand in what's going on this channel, is because it, despite everything, it is flowing. Despite my technical difficulties, God, thank you for you guys and ladies and gentlemen for giving me grace on that, because I know I get more frustrated and quickly frustrated than you guys get impatient, but I
Hmm.
appreciate your patience, because once I get it, it's on and cracking. But
It's
I'm
funny.
still a work in progress. So,
It's funny
but
how you. I knew exactly what Mr. Kami was gonna say. Her observation was before she actually said it, because I was here like, yo, look at the difference between how these panels go and how those panels go when certain people are on it. It's night and day. You know what I'm saying? And they just don't exert common, decent respect, not only for people, but themselves. They don't understand that when they operate in such a way, it shows that you don't even respect yourself. That's why you can't respect nobody else. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I
right,
I,
Bolo.
I was observing the same thing, man. Real talk.
I
Hey,
used
let
to
me.
think that you couldn't, like, if you come on the panel, you automatically are just on the mic because people really don't respect Kwame's panel. So I used to be nervous about going up because I'm like, I don't want to like interrupt and just bombard the panel. But it is really a self-control issue and a disrespect issue, if you ask me.
Right,
absolutely.
and like what Mr. Kimmy said, the respect thing. That's what I want to get back to. Us being as humans, we are humans. Like, why we can't respect each other like it's supposed to be? Like we over here right now, right? And everything is flowing like water. You know what I mean? She talk, everybody be quiet. I'm just so delighted to be here, and I don't hear no, you know, disrespectful woman type of talk, or drowning nobody out, or none of that. Like it's just she's just different. It's like just a real woman, man, a real woman, a true black queen, and it's like I can't say that enough, Mr. Kimmy. I salute to you. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing
Salute.
else to say. I'm going mute. Like this is real, real, real. You know?
And
Thank
I'm gonna just say this before I bounce back out because I'm running some errands for the boss. Um, Bolo, if I'm late if my wife is upset with me, I'm gonna say it was some Jamaican guy that I know that made me come up on the panel and made me go live. So it's your fault, Bolo. But
Man,
You
you
can
gonna
put
do
it on me too.
but look, hey, listen. In all seriousness, I want to say thank you guys for giving me that respect, and that's what I try to do with KB's panel too. Is I don't come up and be like, hey, let me start talking. I think the main thing that we have to do is we have to be able to listen. There's a difference between hearing and waiting to talk, and I think that's what a lot of those detractors, and I can think of 3 specific ones, they do. But I really want to hear what y'all guys. I want to listen to what you're saying so I know if I'm responding to it the right way. Last thing I'm going to say is this. I want to give a shout out to KB because my students love him and they don't even know it because now I just stole one of his lines and I use it in class because when kids are talking, I tell them, I'm like, hey, let me land my plane. So now, now they love that. But hey, yo, salute to everybody on this panel, man. EJ, Bolo,
Salute, Mel.
Akimi. I don't know the young lady on here as well, but hey, salute to y'all
SJ.
guys, man.
Mel, hey Mel, before
Yo,
you go, hey, continue to be who you are and continue to strive for great. Love you, bro. Stay who you are, no
Yes.
doubt.
Facts. The
Yes,
Salute
job
to you.
Mel.
love,
that you do, bro. The job that you do teaching our kids, man. You are very important to this community, my brother, and I appreciate you.
Facts.
Well
hey,
said.
thank y'all guys. Take care. Have a good night.
All
You
right.
too.
Thank you,
See
Mel.
you, Mel.
Appreciate you.
Night.
Okay. So that I love this dialogue. This is why I encourage it and I appreciate y'all. I know people have real lives outside of here and most of the time when I'm listening, I'm in the bushes too. So I definitely give grace and have a lot of understanding of people having obligations, responsibilities, and it is the weekend, time to spend with their families. And I just appreciate each and every one of y'all gracing me with your presence, with your words. I'm just, that's really it. I can't really embellish anymore on that. It means a lot to me to have the support, to have the engagement, to have the perspectives. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. And I'm going on mute. I know if you have anything, it's an open panel. I'm not rushing anybody, but I'm just also giving you permission because I know everybody came up and they were in the middle of something. So I don't want you to feel obligated to stay past your time if that's
Mm.
where we're at.
I
Well,
said it.
I was about to say, I gotta get ready to do me. So I appreciate you. Thanks for having me up. Shout out to SJ, for gracing the stage and giving us her wisdom. And shout out to EJ, that's the broski. Shout out to Mel W. I'm sorry, I'm sorry that Will got a call and couldn't, talk his ish because I always love to hear, what he has to contribute to these types of conversations.
Yeah.
But shout out to the chat, man, and hey, keep supporting Miss Akimi. Get them subs up, you know what I'm saying, and get them views up. You heard? I'm out. Peace.
Amen. Peace, Bolo.
I am out too. I gotta finish work too.
Okay.
But thank you for letting me up. It's always good to talk to y'all. Kind of
Likewise.
in person, but not in person, if
Right.
that makes sense. But I will see y'all. I'll be in the chat so y'all see me.
All right. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
SJ.
Peace and blessings, Miss SJ.
It feel like we in person though, but I'm gonna say this and put this on record. If y'all come in, Mr. Kimi Goofy, I'm her security. I'm head of security. I'm head of state, god damn it. And I'm gonna rectify all this shit. Excuse my language, but don't you disrespect her. I don't care where you at. You could be on the moon, you could be on Pluto, Jupiter. I'm coming to rectify you what you was talking about. You hear me? Don't
Amen.
y'all get
Amen.
up here and disrespect Mr. Kimi because I'm coming.
Oh,
I'm gonna be there. They're gonna be like, damn, I can't get away from him. You
well,
disrespect her, I'll be
as
right
soon as
there.
I figure out how to do the mods, definitely, absolutely, I could use all of the positive reinforcement I can get. Just don't get like d- get the nickname of 86K.
Nah. Nah.
That's all. Because as you can see, I don't even have it on subscribe mode because I don't, I don't have the issue with the detractors and the trolls just yet. But honey, I always stay ready. I
I
always stay ready.
I
So,
got you. And now I'm security. I'm head of the state. I got the book. I got their names. I'm talking about everything. You hear me? Don't
amen.
you disrespect my Mr. Kimi because it's gonna be a problem. I'm just saying that now. And I'm putting that on record. Don't
Amen.
come at her goofy because I'll troll you till you delete your channel. Fuck what you all talking about.
Oh Lord, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, they gonna be like, he got that, she got that yard, her yard dog. You know that little shit. I'm gonna be
Okay.
right there like a shadow. You hear me?
Look,
Eh,
you don't hear no argument from me,
I
okay?
got you. I got you. You hear me? And listen,
Yes.
keep striving, keep being you, keep being the true black queens that we need over here. You hear me? I love this shit. Excuse my
Amen.
language. I can't help it.
No,
But
you good. I'm a cusser, so you good.
hey, no doubt. You wouldn't on this one though. I'm like, oh, I'm like, what else should I say? I feel like I was
Oh
in
no,
church
I
for a
said
minute.
a couple of them. I don't know when you chimed in, but I slip them in every now and then. But I also just look. My son is in high school, so he has football, and I done heard words come out of them his teammates' mouths, and probably his that I haven't heard.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I just try to keep it to where anybody can listen to the stream and gain edification and if they want to comment on the cussing, then maybe this ain't the spot for them. But every now and then, I can't listen to KB and not be a cusser. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sure there are people that can do that, but I was a cusser before I subscribed to him. It's just one of my things. I ain't trying to be perfect. Like I said, it's too much weight on my shoulders. I do strive for greatness, but I do recognize that I am fallible and that I am not perfect. And it keeps me grounded and relatable.
Right. Let me ask you a question. What do you think about some of these women that's on here like that with that foul mouth and like no conversation? You ask them a question, they can't answer it. You know what I mean? And it's like you've been on here, you see it. It's like, what do you think about that? By you being the true black queen that you are, and your information and messages do stain. And that's the same thing with KB. That's what I took from him and learned a lot from him, and that's where I'm at now in my life. But that's here and there. But when you see some of these women on here talking like that, what do you think about that? Like, what are your what do you think about that?
I The first thing that comes to mind is that they're wounded and that they
Lily!
huh?
I'm sorry, I'm yelling at the
Oh,
kids.
okay. No, I
Go ahead,
just
go
wanted to
ahead, go
make sure
ahead, go
that
ahead. I'm
wasn't at
sorry.
me.
I'm sorry.
I thought
Go
you was
ahead, go ahead,
celebrating
go.
my I didn't
I
know
thought I was
you.
on mute. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's right. Oh, Miss Your Thoughts. Yeah. Me and you, we gotta talk, sis. Cause listen, you had me cracking up during your live. Okay. Now I've seen you, you're like me, you're diverse. So some lives you are just informative, you get to the information, you get off. And then there are some like that one I watched yesterday about Kwame. And then you had Miss Monique on there. Y'all had me dying. I was like, okay, so now I get more of a broader scope as to who you are and what kind of content you are delivering. And let me just say, keep doing you, sis. Keep being you. That's all you know how to be. And the people that are meant to receive you, they are doing just that. And your subscriber count it ain't shabby, sis. Okay, especially for everything that you've been going through. And I know, you got people that post every day that don't have them kind of numbers. So, with that being said, you just keep doing you, sis. But to answer your question, EJ, you know what? I look past the surface. Um, I, I don't ignore the behavior, but I know that it comes from somewhere. because whatever your foundation or whatever foundation has been laid for you, like I said earlier in the stream, usually from birth to 6, if whatever that child has learned up until that age, that is going to be the cement, or the roots that the plants and the flowers grow from. So if it's polluted soil, or if it's damaged, or if it's not properly prepared, and the seeds are flawed, then you're not going to get a perfect product, or you're not going to get a good product. It's going to be a GMO. It's going to be something that is fractured or broken. And so um, I think there have been several people that have echoed what I'm getting ready to say, in the frame of, I think this platform makes them comfortable doing that behind an avatar, because TJ says it all the time, as well as many other people say it, where they talk about, he knows in real life they would not come at, look at the Crab Shack situation when Kwame pulled up on old dude, right? It was like all of that rah 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 that he had been screaming for years, not months, not weeks, but years. He tampered his ass right on down with Kwame's presence. So I think that this platform emboldens people to literally hide behind an avatar and express their pain. Now, it doesn't excuse the behavior. The next emotion that I feel is I become saddened. And I become disheartened, because a lot of these people that express themselves like that have children. And you can't tell me that these children are excluded from the environment, because you got people that are on live several times a day for hours at a time. You're not doing that stuff from an outside source. Most of the time, you're in your house somewhere. And if your child is home, even if they're in another portion of the house, they're going to get some of that. And if they're anything like my children, they nosy. So they want to figure out what you got going on. And there goes that respect issue again when you start talking about watching the behavior. And as parents, if we are not guiding our children and backing it up with our behavior and our way of life, and how we demonstrate the words that we are trying to pour into our children, they're not going to respect us. I also feel like I've always told Kwame, in my opinion, you should ignore these people. He has gone through a lot of turbulence on his time in YouTube, but I think it's just in his nature, because he is such a big name. He is a whole brand out here, and you have to protect that. And these people are vicious. But when you understand the words of the Bible and the times that we are living in, and you grow to expect it, then you can either acknowledge it and deal with it, or ignore it and move around, because these people don't have any power. They're trying to exhibit power through fear tactics and through being dirty, low down and dirty. But one thing I can say about almost everybody in this sector is that no matter what kind of criticism and doxing that has been done, they have risen through the ashes. And so it disarms that sector and those people that spew a lot of the rhetoric, the lies, switch the narratives, and they just put the icing on the cake with doing it in such a low down, dirty fashion, that they think if that's the only way they can hurt you, through a social media platform. But now they've taken it off the platform, but they're weakening their vessels and their weaponry, because they're realizing, I'm gonna tell you something, whatever God got his hands in, you can pull out every weapon in your arsenal and it's going to be ineffective.
Talk to
So
me. Talk to
I
me.
look, I look past, for me, it doesn't hold a lot of weight, and I just don't engage. I don't engage. I don't hit panels. I don't go to pages, because dealing with those people, you have no choice but to go down in the dirt. And that's what they want, because that gives them content. It gives them ammunition to say, oh, that person ain't no better than me, because they done dipped down into the sewer like I've been. So now we on the same level. So now you don't deserve no respect. Right? So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's kind
No,
of where I look at it.
you answered it. And another thing is, to me, is that what I think about sometimes is like, if we was to all come together, like once they stop that facade they putting on, and everyone comes together, look how strong it'd be for not just our culture, but for YouTube. You think sometimes I think that YouTube, I think about that, what I just said, but then I think about YouTube might put something in the air that make it not happen. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? You always gonna have content a content creator out there that'll be hateful, like a demonized type of person that'll make it not even work. But I just was thinking about it because some of the panels I hear you, but some of the panels I don't I listen to and chats I be in, I can hear it in their voices. They want to be better than what they are now, but it's the why for me. It's like why you don't want to be that way. Like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It's just it gets confusing because like outside of this, when we click off here, I don't know if you act like that when you pay your bills or you interact with your family, because there's some downtime in your life that you're not gonna act like who you are on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
because the way you come on YouTube, who you are, it explains a lot. But hopefully you're not like that outside of YouTube. So if you was to just be who you are, everything would be alright. That's be the main thing for me for the other side.
Yeah, but
You know,
the only pushback I give you on that, EJ, is that sometimes people don't know who they are. So they can't, they're still it's sad, but a lot of people grow old and never figure out who they are. And so
it's
even if
crazy.
they do know who they are, um, like I said, this platform seems to embolden a lot of people, to really, they think that they're beyond judgment or beyond reach,
Right.
and they're not. And I want to comment on Speak when he says, he stated that is, I think I don't know if his purpose is to expose the go along get along gang. Without him doing what he's doing, we don't see the behavior. He uses them all for teachable moments. I absolutely agree with that. And his purpose is different from mine. And so I respect it. There are times where the human side of me feels like I just feel like that. I'm like, at some point, they're not going to change. He's feeding these people. These people are making money off of him. And so if he doesn't talk about them or give them attention, but I see that sometimes I do see the vision of the purpose being bigger than just that. It's just the fleshly side of me. I'm looking at it from the outside looking in, like, these people don't deserve to take any of your energy and time, because that's how I operate. But like I said, his purpose is different from mine. So I respect it, and I'm still here.
Right.
No, it's okay. Oh, Speaks, you're good.
Right. It just be crazy to me. To hear they dialogue on things, and then to hear yours. It's not about a sector. It's just the person. Like, when they go dark like that, it's be like, what is this? What we doing? You see how calm and cool you talking to us right now, Mr. Kimi? We
Hmm.
need more of this. And I know they got it on that side. They just don't want to do it because of some money.
I was going to say, it
You
doesn't
know
make
what I
them any
mean?
money. It doesn't make them any money.
It's
And then it's
crazy.
not it's not just the money, but now you're using the attention, and it's become a drug,
Right.
because now you would rather have any kind of attention than no attention. And
Right.
so whatever is gaining you that that level of satisfaction, now you're going to amp it up to make sure it doesn't stop or go away.
Right. Because with the money, it's gonna come and go, right? But who you are gonna sustain forever. So once the money come and go, and you jump on here, and you want to be who you supposed to be. Like really, no one's gonna believe you because you done all that for the money.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So you always gonna be. If you was ugly before the money, with the money, you're gonna be ugly after it. So it's not gonna even. I just don't understand sometimes. It just be so frustrating to me. Like I just why they can't come on here like how you doing it.
I don't think that well, because they're the way that they think is different from me. I'm not competitive with other people. I never have been. I don't have a jealous spirit.
Right.
And so I'm always looking at me. And maybe to a fault, but that's the only person I can control. I can't control them. I can control how they move, what they say, the attitudes that they have, how dark they go. They're going to do, you see desperation. I see desperation. And that tells me a story. It tells me a lot about they're not using good judgment. They're not thinking, they don't have a vision. And you know what really saddens me though is that people that typically behave like that don't feel like they have anything to lose. Anything that I have to lose, I'm going to guard. I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to be very specific about what I say, how I move, because I know people are watching.
Right.
And it starts with my family. I don't understand how they can exhibit these behaviors online and think that their kids aren't going to get wind to it.
Right. Yeah, well that's what I've been saying. And
Yeah.
and it's like for me it's like that's why I jumped over here because y'all it's like more than family than my family. Like Earth Day, Your Thoughts. It's a segment that Your Thoughts had did that I watched for maybe I think she was live for like an hour. And I was just so drawn into what she was talking about that I got other things going around me, so I paused it. And then I'll say, "What you need? What's going on? Whatever." And then I play and then go back to it when I'm on my mutual time or whatever. But y'all have helped me in so many ways that my family couldn't. I don't know if I'm off the Richter with that, but I just gotta just put it out there. You know what I mean? So, um,
Well, lessons and messages come in all forms.
right,
Our family is not going to give us everything.
right, that's
Our
fact.
loved ones aren't going to provide us for everything. Like Miss Your Thoughts always says, you can learn from a fool. Not
Right,
calling anybody a fool. I'm just saying you can learn from a fool. I have learned from drug addicts. I have learned from people that are homeless. I have learned from disenfranchised people. I have learned from mentally ill people. There's lessons in every body and in everything. And somebody can teach you something you don't already know because their experience is going to be different.
that's facts.
Now, Speak says something. I'm reading all the chat, but I can only address one at a time. So if I miss you, I'm totally sorry. I'm not saying that your message is insignificant. I'm challenged, y'all. I'm just challenged. So Speak says the kids know who they are. There's no shame in these people's game. And there was another one. This one. They don't go dark. They are dark.
Right,
And that he is so absolutely right in both of those statements.
and Mr.
And
Keely.
yes.
And another, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead. You're good.
And another thing, while I was hearing your conversation when I was driving to the house, I wanted to, on the father type of joint, right? And that's what me and my wife been trying to do forever. Cause she grew up without her dad, I grew up without mine, and I wanted to break that trend in this family culture. You know what I mean? Like none of my cousins had mommy and dad at the house, so that's why me and her try to be good all the time because I want to break that trend. I want them to grow up with mommy and daddy in the house till we old. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be 18 years together in March. and it'll be 12 years
Congratulations.
married in March.
Yeah.
So I met her in '05, but we really hooked up in '06. So since 2006 we've been together. You know
That's
what I mean?
amazing. That's
And
amazing.
we got 3 kids, and that's what I'm trying to show these goofies, that we could do this shit. You know what I mean? Like, y'all niggas run around here doing those dumbass goofy shit, but it can happen. And I know my kids need me more than anything ever, because I didn't grow up with that. I had him, but he was like dead, did not. You know what I mean? When my mother left him. Like, listen, I was born and raised in Philly till I was 12. Then she said, I'm tired of your dad. And we moved here in Cleveland. And I didn't like that Christmas and birthdays and all that. Yeah, he back home. We here. It's like, no. I wanted to break that trend to show people my age and our culture that it can be done. This really can happen. Like, you gotta just work through it. You gotta sacrifice things, and you gotta be true to who you are. See, it's all about who you are, not who you like. Some sorta. But when you're in a relationship like that, it's about who you are. Mr. Kimmy, I gotta make a run. I gotta drop down. I'm gonna jump back up here in like 10 minutes if you still alive.
Okay, no worries. Thank
All
you
right.
so much for
Hey,
being
salute to
here.
you. Salute to you. Salute to the
Salute.
panel. Salute to your channel. Keep doing your thing. True Black Queen. You
All
hear
right,
me?
thank
But I'll be
you.
right back.
Much love. Thank
All
you.
right, no doubt.
Okay. So, Miss Your Thoughts, I was going to ask him that question and kind of go down the list. Miss Collins, I do want to read yours. 3 of those ladies were on panels for at least 2 years without getting paid for it, being ugly, any and nasty while dissecting KB's whole life, at least what they think his whole life is. This is who they are. They're not good people, in my opinion. Sis, I totally agree with you. And I wanted to kind of touch on that because you're not the only one that is given that sentiment, but that just lets you know that we're not dealing with principalities. We're dealing with spiritual warfare. And so, spirits come in all forms, good and bad. And we are living in a time where they are just really, they're showing themselves, and they're not, because they know their time is short, in my opinion, and based on the word, right? And so, with that being said, that is another reason why I don't give them any attention outside of entertainment in the chats or whatnot, because I truly understand where it's coming from, and that a lot of these people are just shells of themselves being occupied by dark spirits. And so, whether I catch flack for that or not, that's my truth. And that's where I'm at with it, right? So O Speak says KB shines a light on these dark creatures. What he does seems senseless, but he's showing us every type of snake out there. The links they'll go for pennies. How people you grow up with will turn. O Speaks, the way that I feel about the situation, I agree with that statement because, like I said, that is his purpose and he's clear. And not only is he clear, but he's equipped and he's able to withstand the attacks because God is able to show and prove himself in KB's lifetime and time again. All of the weapons that have been cast at him has not prospered. That man is growing, he's glowing, he's focused, he's prosperous. He's still a man and he's still imperfect, but that just goes to show that there's a power higher than him that's working through him, and that's how God will show and prove himself in our lives. And so I'm with you on that. He's intentional and he's equipped for this type of battle, and that is one of the reasons why I hold my tongue and I still support, because I understand this is bigger than my perspective and I respect that. So I totally agree with you on that, right? Yep, definitely. So there's no no disagreement there, and no problem. It's no problem. We've been on this thing for 2 hours and 32 minutes, and I am truly grateful. I think a lot has been covered. Some questions have been answered. Hopefully, some gems have been dropped. Education has been given. Highlights that people can benefit from have been made. And so I have done my job for today. I did want to go live. I did want to engage. I love conversation. And that's where we are. So if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and wind down. Just a couple of closing announcements. The ticker is on the bottom. I don't advertise for financial blessings, but I would be amiss if I just didn't mention that you are able to financially, bless me for my time and efforts, and just it's all good. And if not, I totally, it doesn't change me and my message. So I just wanted to mention that. Like I said, the videos that were discussed, and they're all in the description. There are people, I need to add people to the list, but there are several links in the chat. So if you can all click on the description after you tap that like button, if you haven't already. And if anybody's come into the stream and they catch the replay, please just hit the like button or the dislike button, but hit one of those, please, so I can at some point get into the algorithm. I would appreciate that type of support. It doesn't cost you a thing. And for that, I am thanking you in advance. Um, um, the other thing was, the descriptions. I need to add some more names to the list, but if you haven't subscribed, those consider, the people on that list, and that's those people that are listed are in our sector or in our section. And these, a lot of those are new channels. So if we all support one another, even if it's just a like or a view, that's leaps and bounds. So T. Smith, I didn't see your message. I'm going to go through the replay at some point, and then we can definitely visit that on a future live if you choose to come up and conversate, maybe on the panel if you're able to. I would love to have you up. You've got a lot of value to add and a lot of feedback on the conversation. So I just think at some point it would be great, maybe if we can have some open dialogue on the panel. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for participating on any level. I appreciate everybody that came up on the panel. EJ, I'm gonna go ahead and close out. I know other people are probably live, and it's actually been kind of a long week for me. So I'm going to unwind and chill for the rest of the evening while it's raining where I am. And then we will definitely catch up. And then hopefully I'll be able to learn how to give out mod wrenches again. So with that being said, much love, peace, and blessings to everybody. Thank you for coming in again. Thank you for joining me. And may you have peace and blessings and a great weekend, a great evening. Be safe out here, stay dry, and love on one another. Okay? All right. So much love to everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.